Yeah. I think too many people know me. A lot of strangers claiming they my homie. Do you know so-and-so? No, I can't see the place. Got a familiar name, but I don't recognize their face. But somehow they tell my business. Who I live with everywhere that I visit. Who I got kids with, what is this? Ain't got a doubt, that's what clout be. Can't say what I'm about, only saying things about me. My city too small, just high school games. Even after you graduate, the people still the same. Don't nothing ever change, you can't even meet a chick who's either fuck with someone you hate or someone in your clique, or someone you know through someone else to run and tell you shit. I ain't ask who she been with, telling me niggas that hit. Don't message me nothing else, fuck about in my DMs. Don't be trusting niggas' motives, I can count all of my friends with one hand, yeah. Hey, and I don't know how many more years I have to go, yeah. I've been here before, and this road that I'm on starts to take a toll, yeah. Every time I hide, the world seems to find their way inside. I'm like, please, just leave me alone, yeah. Please, just leave me alone. Yeah, I bet my best to get up out that place. Thinking if I left, they get up out my face. Who would've thought they'd go about their way? Taking business trips for business out of state. Yeah, that's just so out of taste. Where you niggas from, am I in outer space? Try so hard to disappear without a trace. But here you niggas are looking for clout to chase. Then starting to think that it's my fault now. See, I was young and making plans to make them all like me. Never prepare for what the cost might be. You not aware, so you don't care what the spotlight brings. Now, an introvert wanting attention, that shit can't mix. Craving the love, but once I got it, man, I hate that shit. It's like I love the game, but I don't wanna play that shit. Yelling for coach to take me out, but I just can't miss. Hey, and I don't know how many more years I have to go, yeah. I've been here before, and this road that I'm on starts to take a toll, yeah. Every time I hide, the world seems to find their way inside. I'm like, please, just leave me alone, yeah. Please, just leave me alone, yeah. I wish someone had told me sooner. Growing up, my biggest enemy would be a rumor. More you accomplish, the higher the pedestal is, and stories about you seem to have more impact than what the truth is. I'll be honest, when the popularity contests was fly, when your name holds some weight and you feel it as you walk by. Now all these niggas want some sort of association with me. Chicks that never pay admission, all DMing me for free. Now she blowing up my line cause she heard from her brother, older cousin, girlfriend's mother, that I'm fucking with another. I'm a relationship suffer. She keep hearing all this hype, was there to gain and saying my name, how it benefit your life. We only text when she calls, I'm nervous, got me anxious, recalling recent history to prep for accusations. Another story with my name in it. She asked why I'm defensive, cause for years I've been closed off and I still gotta address shit. Hey, and I don't know how many more years I have to go. Address shit. I've been here before, and this road that I'm on starts to take a toll, yeah. Every time I hide, the world seems to find their way inside. I'm like, please, just leave me alone, yeah. Please, just leave me alone, yeah. Hey, and I don't know how many more years I have to go, yeah. I've been here before, and this road that I'm on starts to take a toll, yeah. Every time I hide, the world seems to find their way inside. I'm like, please, just leave me alone, yeah. Please, just leave me alone, yeah. Hey, and I don't know how many more years I have to go, yeah. I've been here before, and this road that I'm on starts to take a toll, yeah. Every time I hide, the world seems to find their way inside. I'm like, please, just leave me alone, yeah. Please, just leave me alone, yeah. Hey, and I don't know how many more years I have to go, yeah. I've been here before, and this road that I'm on starts to take a toll, yeah. Every time I hide, the world seems to find their way inside. I'm like, please, just leave me alone, yeah. Please, just leave me alone, yeah.
I gotta take these niggas out. I'm just trying to get ahead. Can't take it with you when you gone, but I ain't hear nothing you said. Put all my money in my casket, so even when I'm dead, all you niggas say I did it bigger than you ever did. I prove it even if it kills me. Regular, yeah, it kills me. Regular, even if it kills me. Regular,
Yeah, kills me. Break a lot. Yeah, send a nigga in the coupe where the roof goes poof. Yeah, tell me what I gotta do to get there. Fuck the next chick that I get, getting spit on a whip. Fuck that, man, it's just a minor setback. I'ma get back, but you niggas gonna love my shit. Make her jealous when I tell them don't touch my shit. All those who oppose us know this, I'm supposed to post this. Hashtag here to suck my dick. The more bread you make, the more realer you are. The more threats you make, the more killer you are. And I'm the realest before. Look at all these diamond rings and dimes and range. How you feeling so far? And that's the strangest thing. It's strange to think what strangers think can either satisfy or anger me. Even if they can't believe what I make believe was make believe. Just believe what I claim to be. Yeah, just believe what I claim to be. Just believe what I claim to be. Might not mean a thing to you, but it means everything to me. A fiend just to be accepted, but I'll tell you I don't care how you feel. At the same time, better be respected. To be real, I don't know what's real. It's rats, I rats, you see the crib. Yeah, break a lot. You in a trap, you moving bricks. Yeah, break a lot. You keep this chat, you not a bitch. Break a lot. Your chick is back cause you a pimp, my nigga. You better design the shit they magic made. Yeah, break a lot. Even your whips got valet hate. Yeah, break a lot. I know you see it, I need validation. Break a lot. Tell me you see it, I need validation. You get her. I got a book on how to be the realest nigga. Only made one copy, and I bought it. It said you gotta prove to be the best to all these niggas who don't matter, and they'll tell them they don't matter. And that don't make them matter. So I'm here to floss on you niggas. Never took no loss for you niggas. Always been a boss to you niggas. Always pay more cost on you niggas. My life is so awesome, my nigga. I grew up much harder. I'm harder. My jet time was longer. Got 38 felonies. Sold the most product. I gotta speak down on you. Make you feel down when you look up and see I'm surrounded by dollars. You feel less like a man now? Admit I'm the man. I pretend till I stand out. I never understand how. Where the man up is, keep a man down. Why is our composition made a competition? I guess when you race without a pot to piss and them dollars missing. Poor souls pay for all attention. But damn, what's the cost of admission? It's rats, you see the crib. Yeah, break a lot. You in a trap, you moving bricks. Yeah, break a lot. You keep this chat, you not a bitch. Break a lot. Your chick is back cause you a pimp, my nigga. You better design the shit they magic made. Yeah, break a lot. Even your whips got valet hate. Yeah, break a lot. I know you see it, I need validation. Break a lot. Tell me you see it, I need validation.
I gotta take these niggas out. I'm just trying to get ahead. Can't take it with you when you gone, but I ain't hear nothing you said. Put all my money in my casket, so even when I'm dead, all you niggas say I did it bigger than you ever did.
Hold up. Yeah, the slave masters were masterminds. Used to masterminds. Had to step with you on masterminds. Aftermath of being afterminds. Be the man to the man is blind. The catch or find that made his brother snap the whip. Crack the tip on the back of spines. Pure hate, black man's response. Split families in half more than half the time now. That's how the fuck you cut family ties. He's a house nigga, you a field nigga. Creating lovers, but to them you still nigga. No one cares how the fuck you feel, nigga. Fuck who did it, you just wanna kill niggas? Misdirect the hatred, it traveled through 100 generations. Divide and conquer, oldest trick in the nation. It's strip the nigga naked. The only thing sacred was pride. He swore you never take it. That's why we break a lot. You niggas kill me. Yeah. Break a lot. Won't help a nigga rap. Kill me. Break a lot. That shit kills me. Break a lot.
Man, y'all, here we are for episode number 81 of Let's Get Activated podcast. I'm up here breaking a sweat because I was vibing backstage here. You know, you got me, your girl, Samantha LaBelle, and we have got the amazing Breeze Oliver in the building. Unmute your mic, my brother, so we can get it cracking.
Oh, yeah. Hey, hold on. Should I turn my phone sideways?
I mean, you could. It might look weird to you though, like if you turn it that way. But
all right, cool.
You good though. But how you feeling tonight?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling really, really good. How are you doing?
Man, I'm doing good. You know, feeling blessed. You know, you got like the people like we're just vibing out. You know,
I appreciate it. I saw some good comments, man. I appreciate that. And again, just to reiterate, I know it's sort of behind the scenes, but I appreciate you having me on. I do appreciate just the look and the just shouting out and reaching out to me. So.
Oh no, you know, you're more than welcome, Breeze. You know, you've been doing your thing for quite a while. You know, we started the show, listening to like a powerful message with Alone, and then just kind of getting a little lit with Brag a Lot. You know, do you want to let the people know just like the premises of those songs and the visuals?
Yeah. Sure. Okay, I'll start with Alone since we did it first. Alone typically just kind of deals with I'm kind of from a small city. lots of rumors, lots of things go around, and it just no matter how far I get away from that, it tends to always follow me. And sometimes I'm just like, yo, just like everyone leave me alone. Like I'm just trying to
Mhm.
progress in life. Like I don't want to be pulled back by some of like people that are still stuck in high school, people that are still stuck in like old ways. My
Right.
whole life I'm just trying to progress, musically, financially, mentally, everything. And it's just like I don't want to be involved in some of the drama and some of the things that come from being in a small town. So that was more so just kind of dealing with a little bit of mental health and like, yo, just leave me alone.
Mhm.
I'm trying to like I got things to focus on. So that's kind of what that song dealt with, and hopefully relatable for some people. And then Brag a Lot,
Mhm.
what one of probably my favorite songs I've ever written. Deals really in the, if you're listening to the lyrics, like obviously I try to make it appealing and something vibey, but
Mhm.
in listening to the lyrics, I'm trying to get to the bottom of why we compete with each other and have this crab in the barrel mindset as opposed to helping
Mhm.
each other build, and how do we get there. So the song is more of a satire. It's like I'm bragging on a lot of things, but at the end of the hook you can see, tell me you see it, I need validation, because it's just like we just crave for attention. We crave this, like, we'll tear people down to get to where we get to, and as opposed to just, if we came together we'd be a lot more stronger, we'd go a lot further. And then so second, third verse, I mean first and second verse,
Mhm.
kind of just dealing like, me talking a lot of trash and
Uh-huh.
bragging. And then in the third verse, I try to go into maybe explaining a little bit of the history and why we are tend to be such a prideful people. Why we do tend to feel like we have to compete with each other as opposed to getting along. And I know it sounds like kumbaya-ish a little
No,
bit,
no, you
but
good.
so yeah, that's kind of the premise of Brag a Lot,
Mhm.
which is, in a nutshell, what I try to do with all my music. Keep it appealing to the masses. Yet when you kind of dissect the lyrics, there's actually some consciousness, some substance to it, as opposed to me just talking a bunch of trash and glorifying myself and
Mhm.
bragging a lot. So yeah.
Right. No, we
Yeah.
need that. We need that, music with substance. I'm all about that. And the kumbaya mentality, that's okay. We need more of that. If we all support each other a little more, we can all win. That's the way I see it.
Facts. Yeah, yeah. I mean, my whole, I've learned as I progress through life that I get much further by creating allies as opposed to enemies.
Right.
So when I meet somebody as trying to prove that I'm a tough guy, it's more so like I'm gonna try to prove that I'm a friend. You know,
Right.
so so that's kind of how I've been able to at least progress. But yeah, that's kind of the
Yeah.
gist of that song as well. So yeah.
Yeah, we got to start, from the beginning. First of all, you do so many things. You're not only a hip hop artist, you are, a songwriter bona
Right.
fide. You have done boxing. You're
Hmm.
also a fitness and a fashion model. So you
Yes.
just got, you wearing all these hats. For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just a creative. Honestly, I'm
yeah.
just a creative. If there's something creative about it and I tend to like be all right at it, I like to kind of divulge in it a little bit. In terms of just like boxing and things, I've always been athletic. Boxing, I actually started boxing younger to kind of
Hmm.
for the fitness aspect of it. And then a coach took me under his wing, and then we kind of got a little serious about it. So, I've been boxing for quite a while. A bad injury kind of ended my career. So then I became a boxing coach,
Hmm.
ran a boxing gym for quite some time. And then that, sometimes that ties into, getting into modeling and stuff, which I
Right.
mean, I don't typically have the biggest passion for it.
Hmm.
However, I was signed to an agency for a little bit, and they, just it was something fun. It was creative, for me. So I enjoy the fashion world. I enjoy,
Right.
kind of the modeling world, especially anything to do with fitness. I'm all about it. So
Hmm.
because that's just something like, it sounds cliche because every it's great to take a shirt off and have a ripped body, but health is something that we don't take
Yes.
serious enough in the community, and I do take it seriously. Again, like my whole as I get older, it's like I really am trying to progress in every facet of life that I can, from mentally, spiritually, physically, in every aspect, because you only have one life to live, and so why not make the best of it?
Right. You're right about that. You can't be doing this music thing or and anything else you're doing without, being healthy. So, you
Right,
know what I'm
right, right.
saying? That's
Yeah.
important. That's
Yeah, and the
definitely.
biggest thing to me is,
Hmm.
living, obviously we know hip hop and we talk about trash and hip hop
Right.
and stuff, but like the biggest thing to me is like when you hear my songs, okay, does he live the things that he's talking about? You know what I mean? Does he live, he speak, he gives a positive message, but is he a representation of the message that he's given? And like my biggest thing is that somebody looks at me and says, okay, he's living what he's talking about. If he's talking about progressing, he's rapping about progressing. He's trying to help people as well, do whatever he can. So that's kind of, my biggest thing is presentation as well.
Definitely. And we, where did you just get your start? I mean, in just, rapping and songwriting, because I got to tell you, you're versatile too. Like you're not just one dimensional. I've seen like a
Right.
few different sides. So how did that develop?
It's so the craziest thing. So um I'm originally from Los Angeles, but I
Hmm.
didn't grow up in Los Angeles. We moved to Nashville, Tennessee when I was a little bit younger. I grew up in the South. But it was kind of odd because while I grew up on a lot of Southern music from, 3 6 Mafia to Cash Money back in the days, like
Hmm.
I ended up being a connoisseur of a lot of the more lyrical artists, and I was it's very rare that you heard somebody, in Nashville, like listening to Nas, right, or listening
Right.
to a Jay, or listening to a Jada Kiss. Like, so while I grew up on and loved the Southern music, just because the trap and all that stuff, I actually was more prone to listening to like the bar heavy rappers, the conscious heavy rappers. So I think a lot of it, and just a mixture of it, really, really influenced me to kind of be a little versatile. And honestly, like I would say for quite some time, it took me a really long time to find my identity. I was playing with so much stuff. I was singing on something, I was rapping on something. I could spit punchlines, and then I could get conscious, and it was like I kind of struggled to find who I was as an artist, and I just
Hmm.
played with a lot of things until I felt like I came to the realization that like I don't have to be or sound like anybody else. Just be like, do what I want to do, and the people that like it will gravitate towards it, and if they don't like it, so be it. But I've just found that as an artist, the ones that do create their own identity, there's only going to be one Drake. There's only going to be one J. Cole. There's only going to be one Lil Baby. You know what I mean? And the
Hmm.
ones that come after and sound like them might touch success a little bit, but the longevity doesn't tend to be there. So I've felt like the ones that are not scared to, somebody like a Kanye West, who's not scared to just put out whatever he thinks sounds good, and it works. People are like, oh, they like that. They like his sound because of his creativity and his uniqueness. So I've just kind of learned to do that. But that's how I started. I think just having a lot of different influences, I could go down a list and they'd be so different from each other. You'd be
Hmm.
like, hey, you got that from what? You know what I mean? So it's just like, that's typically kind of where my influences came from, and how I got to where I am now. So
Got you. I mean, you can definitely break down some of the influences. I'd be curious because I just like to
yeah,
hear the
definitely.
different sides. Yeah.
Sure, sure, sure. Okay, so I'll
Mhm.
start like first and foremost. I grew up on, my mom was very, very religious. We grew up in a church, so I actually started with Christian rap before I even got
Mhm.
into like secular. We were not allowed to listen to secular rap.
Right.
It wasn't. I have an older brother. It wasn't until he snuck a Tupac album in the house that I was like exposed to,
Oh.
like All Eyes on Me, and that's kind
Mhm.
of like where it started from. Second album that he snuck into the house was The Block Is Hot by Lil Wayne. So like it was these two different like, and so, but before that, when I was listening to like Christian rap, I grew up on artists like, I don't know if people are familiar with like Grits,
Mhm.
Know the Verbs, DC Talk, and if you ever heard those artists, that's kind of what I grew up on. And then
Mhm.
it's kind of switched to the secular side because I fell in love with Tupac, and then I fell in love with Lil Wayne. So I was a very, very big Lil Wayne fan growing up. And then I kind of, Lil Wayne would work with artists like Fabulous, or he would
Mhm.
do, or obviously he had he did a lot of collabs with like Dipset and Joel Santana. So then I kind of got into the Dipset world, and people in the South just weren't listening to Dipset like that. Like
Right.
you didn't ride around in Nashville or Atlanta and you just heard Dipset. You know what I mean? Like I was listening to that, so I got really bar heavy, and Cassidy became a big influence as well. Like just these northern artists. So these
Mhm.
became really big influences of mine. And then somebody put me on to Joe Budden
Mhm.
when I was probably in college, and then Joe Budden probably became a very, very big influence on at least just the vulnerable side of my music.
Right.
Um, I really enjoy. He was the first. I'd never heard nobody rap about the things he was rapping about. I mean, he was rapping about mental health and going
Mm-hmm.
crazy and the things he dealt with and female woes and things of that nature, which you just didn't hear. Everybody was hard and everybody was gangster
Right.
and all that stuff. You know what I mean? So that kind of that kind of opened my mind to the idea that I was allowed to be a little more vulnerable in my music, and that people would relate to it. So it kind of changed the tide a little bit for me. So I started writing more about my experiences, and like maybe they're unique to me, but I guarantee there's people that do go through the same things I go through or have the same thought process that I have, and that's kind of where, and I feel like, with music, that's kind of the best part about it is you can use it to touch a certain group of people, and they can relate to it. I think one of the biggest songs I have, no, the biggest song I have is a song called Letter to My Brother.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that song has 3 million plus views. And I mean, I made that song when I was in college. I was probably like 18. My brother went to prison. And I took it very, very hard because we grew up in a single parent household. My mom raised me
Right.
and my brother. So me and my brother were really, really close.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, he dealt with just a lot of struggles in life, just being, not having a father. So he kind of just raised himself at that point. And
Mm-hmm.
so, he ended up going to prison. And for me, that was like the only kind of quote unquote father figure that I had. So it was detrimental to me. And so I wrote a song about it. And I mean, to this day, I get, comment after comment after comment after comment. Like, my brother's in jail. This song, I sent this song to him. Can I have the lyrics? And I mean, this song probably was 10 years ago. Well, yeah, I mean, maybe 10 to 12 years ago. And so and again, that song was like, okay, like if you can really put out things that people relate to, you can actually, you can help a lot of people get through things, because there's definitely
Mm-hmm.
music that I listen to, and if I was going through something or struggling through something, like, music is a powerful thing. That's why it's used in movies to change the mood of something. Like, watch a movie without music in it, and it's
Yes.
it's
Right.
weird, right?
Mm-hmm.
So music is literally so influential. And then that's kind of what changed for me. So yeah, those were kind of my influences growing up. There's others scattered around there. Like, when it comes to the lyrical, kind of the more lyricism part, like, I'm a huge King Los fan, very, very,
Mm-hmm.
very huge King Los fan. He kind of helped, like, listening to King Los, really taught me to expand my vocabulary and play with things like I can't say it, alliterism,
Literacy, I guess. I guess.
yeah,
Yeah,
oh
yeah,
yeah, like,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Literacy. We'll go with that.
punch
Yeah. Right.
punchlines,
Mm-hmm.
um, just wordplay all in general. And so, like, all these things, I'm just adding to my arsenal and then trying to make it my own. But big influence of mine. And then I'm a big battle rap fan, so I
Mm-hmm.
watch every battle rap. I'm a huge URL fan, so
Yeah.
some people like people like Daylight and JC and Loaded Lux and guys of those natures, like, also contributed to, like, okay, me sharpening my pen game, because these guys are incredible. And I feel like if I really, really buckle down and start, like, being a little bit more creative, I can incorporate the lyricism into uh, music that people can still vibe to, right? Because sometimes artists
Mm-hmm.
struggle with that, right? It's like, in my mind, like, King Lo should be way bigger than Kendrick Lamar. No shade to Kendrick, but I just think, but I think it's the music side of it is just like, how do you find a way to appeal to people with your music while you're still being true to yourself? And
Right.
maybe that doesn't have to be everybody's motive, but it's like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to get my music to as many ears as I can. So how do I kind of appeal to the masses while still being true to my own artistry? So yeah, that's kind of where my influences came from, and again, where it led me to the kind of music I put out today.
Yeah, I mean, that's important, staying true to your artistry, and that's why, hey, indie in a way is a way to go, because you
Yeah,
can, you
for
don't
sure.
have to,
Yeah.
go for what, the label is telling you to
Hmm.
do. So
Yeah.
that's definitely important. But you've been doing
Yeah.
a lot of stuff though. I mean, you've done some, work, BET and things like that. Was it like a
I have.
cipher, or how
Yeah.
did, so how
Yeah.
did that
So
happen?
right.
Mhm.
So funny enough, yeah. So I mean, uh, I got into I mean, the BET. Uh, there's been quite a few things. So first I did like a team backpack. If
Mm-hmm.
anybody's familiar with team backpack, they had a huge like kind of event in New York in which I went there and did a cipher. But then I had walked outside the building and there was like a few guys kind of doing this recording. They were recording each other rapping
Mm-hmm.
outside cipher, kind of like a just an independent thing.
Right.
And I hopped in real quick. And then that actually went the cipher I did went viral. And at the time, like, going viral was huge. Like now it's like a
Yeah.
little bit easier. Back then it wasn't that easy to go viral. Like you weren't
Mm-hmm.
even just putting things on the internet in itself was already kind of a hassle to do.
Mm-hmm.
So we went viral, and then I started. I had gotten an invitation to do a cipher for. There was like a BET contest.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, we're talking like it was international, global. I mean, everybody. I mean, rappers from everywhere. I mean, thousands and thousands and thousands. And I submitted, and they picked mine. They picked mine and one other gentleman's, and they flew us out to New York. We got to do a Sprite cipher. It was for like the BET Award weekend type thing, how they do the
Mm-hmm.
ciphers and stuff. So it turned into that. So that was really really fun. Um, and so that's how that happened. And then a few years later, I did it like in Atlanta's Next Big Hip Hop. It was hosted by they have a big radio station out here, and ended up winning that, and it was like
Mm-hmm.
$10,000, and the beat was Beethoven and all types of stuff. So just like these little contests and things that I would submit for, I tended to at least do a little bit well, you know what I mean? Which is like reinforcement that okay,
Mm-hmm.
you're all right at music, like you can rap
Yeah.
a little bit if like other people are recognizing you're winning contests from it. And then one of my biggest like successes slash failures is I had there was another contest, and it was like a $20,000 contest. They flew us out to California, and we had to
Mm-hmm.
rap at a Tech Nine concert, and I ended up coming second. I lost to another guy, right? So I didn't win the money, and that was
Right.
a blow to the ego. You know what I mean? But it's all
Mm-hmm.
experience, and again, they're just reinforcements that like, okay, you at least a little bit okay in rapping and doing music, so maybe you should continue to pursue it, so because it's easy to put something out, get 70 views on it, and be like, man, like, damn, why didn't I, ain't nobody paying attention to me. No, but
Mm-hmm.
really, I learned that it's just the consistency,
Right.
and just, you know what I mean, that trying to build that fan base. So, yeah.
Definitely. What's it like, performing on stage? Like, what's that energy like for you?
I really, really enjoy. So my live shows, I really just try to be unique because I sit and watch, and it's like, man, I've seen a lot of artists who have like, especially like local or independent, who have great music because I listen to the music. But the live show, because it's not there, sometimes they lose the crowd. So like my biggest goal is to like always at least I'm always looking for like ways to keep the crowd looking at you, because especially if you're hopping on stage, you start rapping a song that nobody knows, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, how do I get them engaged and entertained and keep them entertained? So I always use live bands with the DJ. I always try to have visuals in the background. If I'm rapping, my music videos playing to the in the back. Just these little tweaks,
Mm-hmm.
And I really, really put like my full foot forward. I don't take it lightly when I'm performing live. Like when I leave tonight, whether you like the music or not, you're gonna remember the performance because it stood out
Right.
from all the other ones. Again, for me, it's all about presentation. And so I really, really enjoy performing live because I really do like that aspect of it. And then again, gaining even whether you gain 5 fans from it, 10 fans from it, everything adds up. But yeah, the performing aspect, especially, I put on my own shows and stuff, and it's a lot of fun for me. I really really do enjoy it. I get a little bit of anxiety
Mm-hmm.
before I get on stage. But as soon as I hit the stage and the music starts, like everything's gone, and I'm just in my own world and stuff. So
Yeah, that's healthy anxiety.
yeah,
I'll be honest. Sometimes I do too. Before I click the live on here, I'll be like, I wonder how this is
yeah.
gonna go, and I don't know why, but I just
Hmm.
do. But I think it's just healthy. It's just
Right.
that energy that you just
Yeah.
feel, and you
Yeah,
know.
I was just talking to a friend today, and he had sent me a video of like Ray Shremmerd a few years back, and they walked out at one of those festival stages, and I mean the crowd was just massive and just screaming, I don't got no type, and they were just going crazy, and I'm just watching it like I bet that feeling is so euphoric, like I bet the dopamine levels are just like going crazy when you walk out on stage and just millions of people are
Yeah,
screaming, singing your song, and I was like, man, it'd be amazing feeling to just ever feel that once, So.
Hey, it'll happen. You speak that into existence. That's
Yes,
what it
ma'am. Yes,
is.
ma'am.
Just the consistency in the work. Because even like I noticed that even in your visuals, like you said, how you put your heart and soul into your performances, you definitely do in your visuals too.
Yes, yes,
It's clean,
100%.
it's clean and professional.
100%. Right, right, 100%. I come from a sales background, and so for
Hmm.
me, I learned like presentation is key pretty much. The first your first impression is everything in life, just in general. Human nature is just to judge somebody as soon as they see them, right? So it's like, how do I catch their attention? And so always making sure that like I have crisp videos, my music is mixed, on point. It just
Hmm.
the quality of everything is on point. It's just all I'm always just like very, very particular on that because it's like, it's just again just trying to stand out and make sure that oh shit, when we listen to Breeze, like we know we're getting quality visuals, we know we're getting quality music, so
Right. Right. That's what it's about. And I gotta add, you have a comedy side too. I've noticed some of your kind of comedic videos, engaging the people a little bit.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I haven't quite figured out how to tie
Uh-huh.
it into the music.
Right.
I'm not typically like I wouldn't even call myself a funny guy like that.
Mhm.
Like I've more so kind of realized that like okay, first of all, like it's like I have like a thing with Instagram where they pay me to
Mhm.
do the reels.
Yep, me too.
And
Mhm.
okay, good, yeah.
Yep.
So I learned that a lot of the reels that do well tend to be the relatable ones, right? But the relatability that you don't even think about. It's just
Right.
things that people do every day and they don't think about it. And then you're like, oh, let me put a reel out. If when as soon as something happens and I'm like, I bet a bunch of people can relate to that. I'll make a
Mhm.
reel about it. And then I just see a bunch of comments, oh my gosh, I'm the same way. So I'm just like, it's
Yep.
more of a psychological thing. I wouldn't
Mhm.
even, I don't really even consider myself funny, but I do think the reels kind of add a whole different uh just a personality to it,
Right.
you know what I mean, like every that way you can kind of see again a different side of me, and laughter's the best medicine, so
It is like the ice one. We can all relate to dropping the ice.
yeah,
Yes.
exactly, right, yeah. Yeah, it's like we all kicked ice under the fridge at some point, like
Yes.
or if we might still do it, I don't know, but I mean, yeah, it definitely, stuff like that just becomes relatable. I get a lot of ideas, but I end up so busy throughout the day that I just I rarely get time to do the reels. So sometimes I just take like a whole day and I'm like, let me shoot like five right now because I do all the editing and all that stuff, so yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I was gonna say, I can tell that you probably do have like a busy schedule. Like, how do you balance everything?
um So the biggest thing for me is I've learned time management, and time is the one thing that you don't get back, right? It's like
Hmm.
you make as much, you make as much money as you need, and I've been broke, I won't say rich, but I've been well off, and I've been broke, and I've been well off, and then I've had cool things, and I've had nothing, you know what I mean? And those things, it's like when you start to really break it down, like material things, just they come and they go. You can't take them with you when you die, but in terms of like time, that's the one thing that you can't ever get back. So for me, I've learned to optimize my time. And again, it's why I work out. It's why I stay healthy. First of all, I'm trying to I'm trying to stay on this earth as long as I can,
Hmm.
because I have a lot of things to accomplish, to help, to help the people I love and people outside of that. So I feel like I just haven't fulfilled that purpose to its peak. But at the same time, um, just managing my time, making the most of it. Um, People laugh. People tell me all the time, like, when do you sleep? And I'm just like, well, I try to get good sleep, but I just have so much to do, and
Hmm.
so and not in a bad way. It's a good thing, even if it's a stress, it's a good stress because it's like they're all a means to an end for me. But yeah, it's really about just time management, and I think we take time for granted. So I value time very much so. Like I
Hmm.
value time. Like I had a daughter 2 years ago. I had a daughter who was born, and I mean, I'm very, very, very involved in her life, but I mean, just the time with her is the most important thing in the world to
Hmm.
me. My time with her. And I mean, there was a time for probably her first 2 years that if she was awake, I didn't leave the house because that was time I could be spending with her. Like,
Right.
homies call me like, oh, you wanna go grab something to eat? I'd be like, well, if my daughter falls asleep, then yeah, I'll come because then she knows I'm
Mm-hmm.
gone. But while she's awake, I'm not going nowhere, you know. But again, just time is everything to me at this point. And once you kind of start to value time a little bit more, you start to make time for the important things in life and start to kind of put away the things that aren't, you prioritize a little bit better. I guess that's the main thing. It's just prioritizing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's definitely very important, prioritizing time and just,
Yeah,
finding,
yeah.
the best way to manage it. So it's a good thing. And, I'm glad, you brought up your daughter and stuff too, because, they need kids need their parents,
Yes,
so it's
yes, yes.
a good thing,
Yeah, I have a son. I have a son. He's 13, and he just went into eighth grade. So I had to have
Mhm.
the guy talk with him.
Yes.
Yeah, I had to sit him down and say, listen, there's some things your mama can't really help you with here. So
Right.
let me help you out a little bit. And so we got to have that talk, and it's amazing watching him grow and me trying to set an example and make sure that like he follows that example. And then my daughter just like knowing that like I'm always gonna be there for her and protect her
Hmm.
and things of that nature. And just she's a lot of fun. So yeah, I mean, again, those things are the most important to me. So time with them means everything. So.
Definitely. Would they be, I'm assuming they would probably be a part of your, I'm sure, inspirations to keep going.
100%, 100%. My daughter and my son are my biggest motivations. A
Hmm.
100%. It's like everything I do, it's about leaving something behind for them. Always having a legacy. Always, having something that like when I go, that they can carry on whatever I had, whatever I put into works. So that it's really, really important to me. But yes, they are my biggest motivation. That even when I'm not having a good day,
Hmm.
or it's just like I'm stressed or something. It's like, yo, you got to keep going. You just got to keep going and do it for them. So
Definitely. Definitely. They're going to be looking up at dad. So,
yeah, they do too. They do definitely. Yeah, yeah. So
Hmm.
I'm just trying to put good people into the world. I don't want my kids to grow up and be assholes.
Right,
So
right. Exactly,
that's gonna be my
exactly,
fault. As a parent, like
exactly.
it's my job to prepare them for the real world. Like, you know what I mean? It's like it's great to be their friend, but I also got to be their mentor as well. So, I don't need them growing up and being assholes just because their dad was an asshole all his life. So
Right. Oh gosh. No, we always want to make our kids be better than us,
yeah,
You
exactly,
know.
exactly. Set them up for success, create generational wealth, which it's not as hard as people think to do, but it's
Hmm.
like we get so bogged down by the system and being so robotic and society telling us we gotta, this is what you gotta do and this is your work till you die and you pay bills, and it's like, bro, chill. Like all that stuff ain't important, man. Make time for the things that are important.
Amen. Amen to that for sure. For sure. And moving on to the next question, this crazy industry that we're in, is there
Mhm.
like, what would you like to see change in this music industry?
Um, well, sheesh, quite a bit.
Yeah.
First and foremost, I'd like. Are we referring to the music side of it, or just like the industry itself, like how things work in
Mm.
the industry?
We can go into both because I really think
Okay.
people need that education and to hear that. You know what I'm saying? So,
Well, yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So for
Hmm.
for the industry itself, I think we're in an information age. So I think we're starting to understand that like artists have been getting effed over for years, right? It's like,
Hmm.
you hear all the horror stories, you hear all the bad contracts that artists sign, or artists still fighting for their masters, and
Hmm.
and can't, are making money off of things that they created. And it's the business, right? That's how it
Right.
went. I'm not here to tear down labels or anything. It was the nature of the business. You sign a contract, and it is what it is. You learn from it
Hmm.
and hopefully
Yeah.
bounce back
Yes.
stronger. And the ones that persevere come back stronger, and some don't.
Hmm.
So um but now we're in an information age where I feel like you have the knowledge now, right? Like we touched on it a little bit earlier.
Hmm.
We're you can be an independent artist and gain a fan base and put your own money into your own marketing. Um, and start to generate that. It's really about the hard work and the consistency on your own, as opposed to an artist. I mean, a label putting a machine behind you, or putting a bunch of money into you, where you owe them a bunch of money back, right? So education, I think, is a big thing, and I think we've
Mm-hmm.
kind of gotten there where we realize, okay, labels were given these advances, and the artists thought they were a millionaire, but really they were just in debt, and then if
Yes.
they get shelved, they're going to be in debt for the rest of their life. And I think we've actually, so, but what I would like to see change,
Mm-hmm.
back to the actual question, is
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see, artists, um generating more income for their music, and creating their own kind of streaming type platform. I don't mean like creating their own Spotify. I mean in terms of, like, the artist should get paid more for their creativity, for the music that they put out.
Agreed.
So it's like we gravitate towards all of these streaming platforms that are created by other, people that aren't even in the culture, or of the culture,
Mm-hmm.
and they make a killing, and then we just go to it because that's the norm, everybody else is doing it. And it's like, if a lot of artists band together and said, okay, we're not putting music on this streaming platform, we're going to create our own, or I'm going to create my own app, per se, and you can only get my music on my app, so you have to pay. There's just so many ways, and I'd like to see a little bit more of that, like artists kind of coming together, especially, at least in our culture, where our
Mm-hmm.
music has been stolen from blacks for decades, if not
Yes.
centuries. I mean, so it's like you go to the roots of pretty much almost every genre, and it's a black person, so it's
Yes.
like,
Yep.
it's like music's been getting stolen from us for, generations, and it's like, man, at some point something's got to change. Artists got to start getting paid more, start coming out with their own platforms, and then being supported by the other artists who are not scared to
Mm-hmm.
say, yo, F that streaming floor. We're gonna make our money, or getting paid 0.00005% every stream I get. You know what I mean? And
Right.
it's just like, it doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense. So that would be really cool to see change in the industry, because it would immediately change the culture of just everything. It's even just streaming platforms itself forced labels to adapt and change how they did things.
Mm-hmm.
That's where 360 deals were born, and then, so forth and so on. And then, to flip to the music side, I would like to. This is just my own personal bias.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see. Um, I would like to see more positivity in rap. I know it sounds kumbaya and
No,
cliche,
no.
but when I talk about the influence
Mm-hmm.
of music, I think people try to minimize it a bit and be like, oh, they're rapping about what they know and what they hear. For me, and that's a cop out, right? It's a cop
Mm-hmm.
out. You're it's one thing to rap about what you know and what you've been through. It's another to glorify it, right?
Right.
And we sit here and act like it doesn't affect the youth and it doesn't affect our mindset. Hell, there's been times I've been riding into some gangster shit, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, I'm over here rapping about things that, and it's just
Mm-hmm.
like, if you act like it's not influential, then you're delusional, or you're lying to yourself, right? So I'd like to see a lot more positivity, and I think labels have a lot to do, because they know to push the violence and the negative kind of reinforcement, because it keeps us in a mindset. It,
Right.
it it just does, right? So it's like, yeah, the guy that's talking about killing 30 people, like, let's keep him, like, rolling. And listen, there's a time and a place for it. I listen
Mm-hmm.
to, I listen to the hard, tough guy stuff,
Yeah.
all the time.
Mm-hmm.
However, I'd like artists to start taking a little bit more accountability, and stop acting like the music that they put out isn't influential, and that if somebody you know or the people that they affect with their music, that it's not their responsibility to or they don't have any responsibility for it. I think if you're an artist, and you hold some sort of title, and you do have some sort of influence, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of influence, depending on, your fan base. So I do think it's your responsibility to kind of, you know point them in the right direction, or at least have some sort of, substance or consciousness in your music, to where you're kind of uplifting people, because it's so saturated with just negative reinforcements,
Yeah.
and we eat it up. I mean, we just eat it up, and we love it. And again, I think it just keeps us in a consistent mindset that's really, really hard to get out of. So that's kind of what I'd personally like to see change, um,
Mm-hmm.
and hopefully we get there. But
Yeah. Hopefully, I agree. People just got to take those steps and not being, afraid. And I think also part of it is social media. Like you notice if you post something real positive, something, there's not like a lot of likes and all of that. But if you post something negative, if you got the lady complaining about the dude only buying McDonald's for one kid, it goes viral.
Right. Yo, social media is it's such a great tool, but it's a gift and a curse because it's so detrimental at the same time. You know what I mean? It's addictive. It causes us to crave attention. We watch these videos, half of them are fake anyways. And then, and then we judge our own lives based on, how other people are living. And it's this really weird mind warp that it does. And so unfortunately, like it can be a really great tool, but at the same time, it can be just as bad as well, which we kind of see in society. I think a lot of people deal with mental health issues. I think we all do, honestly.
Yes.
We especially our culture, we come from generations of trauma,
Yes.
right? We come from generations of trauma, and it's like now we're just watching trauma on social media play itself out,
right?
And then we hop in the comments and then we project our own trauma into the comment section. I mean, just never stops. So it's just that's why I think, like, at least with music, I and if you look at, the artists that do tend the artists with longevity, they're typically the conscious artists. The Coles, the Kendricks, they're the ones that stay around for 10, they got 10, 15 albums out.
Right.
A lot of the artists are the other kind of type of music, they come and they go. They're good for 2 or 3 years, and then you might not hear from them again, or it's on to the next artist that's talking about the same thing. So I mean, I think that's a revelation as well. It's like, clearly, if you want a longer time in the industry, you got to have a little bit of substance in your music. So
yeah, especially the older you get, like you can't be doing some of maybe the crazy stuff you might have did when you were 20 years old. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, dude, I was I was talking about Gerda. I was like, I don't even listen to a lot of rap as much, because I was like, dude, I don't want to like be driving to I don't want from my house and driving to the post office, like 30 people have died by the time I get to the post office. Like, I don't want to hear that all day. You know what I mean? Like, it's not good for the soul. So again, it's just I don't know, but that's just me, I guess. I don't know.
No, I think a lot of people would agree. A lot of people watching this show would agree, because that's that's kind of what me and my team are about too. So you're just speaking facts. I'm here just enjoying the facts that you're giving to the people. That's important.
Yeah.
It really is. And, there's so many, youngsters trying to get into this music game. Like if they were to come up to you, let's say after a show or somewhere to hear your music, and they're like, hey, how can I do this? What kind of advice would you give to them being so young?
So my biggest advice, and what the advice I wish somebody told me when I was younger, is just be yourself. Like, don't go listen to Lil Baby and go try to sound like Lil Baby. Don't go listen to Drake and try to sound like Drake. Like, find your sound. It's okay if things influence you. Of course, we all come from are going to be influenced by something.
Right.
But number one, find what you like. Like, I don't care if you're singing rock and roll on a hip hop beat. Like, it doesn't matter. Find what you're good at and what you have a passion for, and just do it. Don't worry about what people think about it. Don't worry about how you're viewed, because I promise you that the fan base that you grow will become a cult following. They'll be loyal to you, as opposed to sounding like every other artist, and now you don't even know who your fan base is. It's just the people that like the other guy that you sound like. You know what I mean? But if you it's those artists that have that core following, that 10 years down the road, that core following never left. You know what I mean? It's just like you got I know I don't want to bring in Beyonce because she's kind of an anomaly, but she's got the Beehive. They're not going anywhere.
Right. Nope.
They're not going anywhere. She cannot do no wrong. You know what I mean? It's just, you create that, you got Nicki, you got Drake, like, they can't do any wrong to their core fan base. They're going to have people that defend them. It doesn't matter. They can go out here and slap 10 babies in a row, and somebody and their core fan base is going to find a justification for it. So,
right.
you know what I mean? So I would tell a younger kid, like, be yourself. do not let, you know, the world influence you, and your music that you do, make it be true to yourself. Like, don't talk up, you know, you, of course you could, you know, of course we gotta, you know, we have our fun music that we like to do, but
Hmm.
keep it true to yourself. Somebody can relate to it, and it's going to be a lot more people than you think. So
I like that. That's great advice. Definitely great advice for
yeah.
sure. And then what can we expect from Breeze Oliver for the rest of 2022 going into 2023?
Yes, you can expect a lot more music, of course, but a lot more visuals. Like, I'm putting
Hmm.
a lot of money into the game now. Like, for the last couple of years, I stacked and stacked and stacked, and I kind of went ghost a little bit. I tried to stay a
Hmm.
little relevant, you know, um, but I stacked, and then I again I created more time for myself by leaving my job, starting my own business, and so now I have a lot more time, and I'm able to really focus on the music. My music now deals a lot in mental health, um, a lot in things that we struggle with, a lot of the trauma that we deal with that we don't really bring to the forefront. So it's a lot deeper than the things that you really hear nowadays. But I've really become, I've gotten deep into to psychology and philosophy. You know, progression of yourself. You have the power to create your own purpose and your own, you know, your own destiny in life. And so a lot of my music will deal in either, you know, the traumatic side of it, or how to improve and how to progress in life. And hopefully, you know, it's hopefully it works.
Hey, can't wait for that. So this includes like I guess like are we thinking of EPs or like full albums dropping too along
I'll
with that?
probably do, in the meantime, I'd probably prefer more like EPs,
Mm-hmm.
singles.
Mm-hmm.
I think when it comes to like albums, I want to get to a point where I have a fan base that is dedicated to the, you know, it's hard to be consistent and then work on an album at the same time.
Right.
I think an album is great, but it's for the established artist who has a fan base. Is good because it is a, I've put out mixtapes and I've put out albums,
Mm-hmm.
and it is a lot of work,
Yeah.
and sometimes it's a lot of work for very small reward. And so I've realized, okay, the consistency, staying in front of people's eyes, will keep bringing them back. Then boom, I got a whole project that now I have. Now I know I'm getting, you know, 10,000 likes per video, or I have 100,000 followers. Boom, here's an album. Now I can monetize that portion of it and have people that are actually gonna, you know, because again, working on an album is expensive, it's
Yeah.
time consuming. So I think for now I'm gonna drop singles, drop EPs, drop music videos, and then when I get to a space where I feel like it's time to, you know, put out a body of work, that's what I'll focus on.
I like that. That's a good plan. That's definitely I like that plan. And are
I
there any,
hopefully it works.
yeah.
I don't. I
Hey,
probably should look it up. I probably should Google if that's the right way, but hopefully it
you
works.
know, it's good to have a plan. That's important. You know,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
I definitely appreciate that. And then what about like, do you have any like live shows like coming up or lined up?
Yeah, I've done some stuff in Nashville. Obviously, COVID stopped a lot of things too, right?
Yeah.
So like
Hmm.
I was doing live performances and stuff. So I will have some I will have some live shows out in Nashville. I'm looking for some opportunities in Atlanta. I'd really like to start trying to get more on festivals and things of that nature. So those are kind of in the works right now.
Hmm.
But yeah, I will start. I did a live show not too long ago to kind of shake a little bit of the dust off because it's been a little
Yeah.
while. So
Hmm.
about a couple of weeks ago, a very good friend of mine and a very good artist. His name is Liquid Flows. He's really dope. But he invited me to do a show out in Nashville. So I, you know, I did that there, and I performed alone. And then I performed a new track that I haven't put out yet. It'll be my next video, and that one is called Alpha. And then that one's again a more deeper song, kind of dealing with like kind of dealing with uh, men's trauma, like the things that we
Hmm.
go through, but we don't come out and talk about, because if we do, we're seen as soft, we're seen as vulnerable. You know,
Hmm.
we kind of get shunned for being, you know, for having emotions, right? So we tuck a lot of it in, and I think
Right.
it's detrimental. It comes out in relationships, it comes out in parenting, right? So it's like that's kind of what my next song deals with, and I performed that one. But I'll have more performances coming up, probably based around the Nashville, maybe Atlanta area, and then hopefully, you know, they turn into, like I said, festivals and things of that nature.
Oh, definitely. Hey, exciting. And I can't wait to hear that track. That's important. You know, I'm glad that you're bringing out, you know, things with substance and stuff that
Yeah,
people can relate to because it's going to help people at the end of the
right.
day.
Really important to me. Really important. So
Definitely. And then where can people, you know, find you, you know, tap into you?
everywhere. You just Google
Google
Breeze
you.
Oliver, Breeze Oliver. I'm on Instagram, Breeze at Breeze
Yeah.
Oliver. I'm on YouTube, YouTube.com/Breeze Oliver.
Mhm.
All your Apple, any streaming website you can find. And I have a lot more
Mhm.
music, like on Spotify and stuff. So
Yeah.
funny enough, Brag a Lot is actually not a new song. It's just a
Yeah.
new video. It's an
Right.
older song. It probably
Mhm.
came out 2 or 3 years ago. But now I'm putting a lot of money into the marketing, into the visual side of things, and so I'm trying to bring back some of the music that I hope do a little bit more better in the numbers.
Yeah.
So yeah, so hit
Mhm.
hit Spotify up, hit YouTube up, a lot of more music videos on there. But yeah, now I'm gonna start putting out more visuals to some of the older stuff that I wish I had the finances to do back in the day.
Yeah, you should. Let me tell you, there's no age limit to this music, man. It's always going to be
Right.
new to somebody. I did tap into the YouTubes and the YouTube visuals. And yeah, you got a lot of dope stuff on there. Thank you,
Yeah, thank you.
Kim. Thank you, sis. Had to get her in there, always supporting. Yeah, so you really are, doing your thing for sure.
I really appreciate, and I appreciate the acknowledgement. It means a lot. Like I said, it helps reinforce that maybe I'm, just continue down the path and keep trying to, keep trying to progress and put out good music for people.
Definitely. Like everybody, y'all need to tap in. We're live on YouTube. We're on several
Yeah, yeah,
Facebook
yeah.
pages. We're on Twitter, Twitch,
Apple Music.
CertifiedNationEntertainment.com. Like we're spreading
Yeah,
it. We're just spreading the
yeah,
word. And, do you have
definitely.
any like shout outs, that you want to give?
I mean, I want to shout out to my big brother, Dante. He's definitely a big inspiration for me. In terms of just like I share all my music with him before I even put it out, and
Oh,
and
that's
even
dope.
if it's bad, he's gonna tell me it's the best thing he's ever heard, and it's a
Oh.
lot of encouragement. So it keeps me kind of going. I want to
Hmm.
shout out to my videographer Lance Goodman. I actually started with him. The visuals that you see, he's incredible. But I started with him like years ago. Like this is back when he was probably charging me like $100 for a video because he was just
Hmm.
starting out and I was
Right.
just starting out. But I'm a loyal person. Like people that are loyal to me, I stay loyal to them, and I've literally used them. I've done probably a couple of videos when I wasn't in the state with other people,
Hmm.
but like Lance Goodman has been incredible for me. So if you guys and he travels and stuff, so Lance Goodman, look up his stuff. I mean, he works with much. So he really. He kind of he progressed. He does really well now. I mean, he works with like major artists, but I
Nice.
have to thank him because he still takes the time out to like work with me. You know what I mean? And still doesn't bust my head on the pricing. So that's
I
what I
like
think.
that.
Yeah,
Loyalty.
and listen,
Loyalty.
he's worth what I pay. He's worth more than what I pay him. But and I'd be willing to pay him as much as he charged me. But I just have to thank him for just sticking with me and always work with me and stuff. Shout out to my mom, who's also a big inspiration for me. Taught me my hard work and stuff. I don't want to
Hmm.
make this like it's a
No, you good. You good.
like a Grammy speech, but
Uh,
yeah, just shout out to the few people in my life, my daughter, my son, just
mhm.
my girl. Like it's thank you for
Mhm.
everybody that's in, and just my fans, like anybody that's listening to my music that's taking the 3 minutes out of their day that they could be doing anything else and press play, and just listen to it. That means a lot to me. Obviously, as artists, like that's how we live, right? That's
Right.
how we consistently keep growing. So just shout out to any fans or non-fans. Even if you clicked it to say this guy sucks, like thank
Oh,
you, I appreciate it. I'll take you got to take the criticism
it's a
too. So
number. Yeah.
I'll take it. I'll take it. So just I'm appreciative. I'm a grateful person. So
Wow. Wow. I definitely want to, shout out everybody tapping in, and people are even going to tap in after the fact, and definitely shout out to you. I definitely appreciate you coming on because I know your
yes,
time is
sir.
valuable. We were talking about time management earlier.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah, I was rushing here from the gym. I was like, all right, I gotta be home by 7. I got
No,
so
you were
yeah,
on it.
but
You were on it. You were
no,
on
definitely.
time. There was no CP time. We were on point. We were good. We were
Yes,
ready to
ma'am. Yes,
go.
we were. We were
Yeah.
definitely.
We definitely were. This has definitely been, dope episode of Let's Get Activated podcast. Big appreciation to you. And I think, if people missed it in the beginning, I think we should, close it out with that brag a lot again.
Ooh, I'm there. I'm down. I'm down.
Definitely. We're going to close it out. A big salute to, you again, everybody tapping in. And definitely, people, if you missed, brag a lot in the beginning of the show, stick around. We're going to play it now. Peace
Yeah.
and love, everybody. We are activated. Let's
Peace.
go.
I gotta take these niggas out. I'm just trying to get ahead. Can't take it with you when you gone, but I ain't hear nothing you said. Put all my money in my casket, so even when I'm dead, all you niggas see I did it bigger than you ever did. I prove it even if it kills me. Regular, yeah, it kills me. Regular, even if it kills me. Regular, yeah, it kills me. Regular. Yeah, seen a nigga in the coupe where the roof goes poof. Yeah, tell me what I gotta do to get there. Fuck the next chick that I get, getting spit on a whip. Fuck that, man, it's just a minor setback. I'ma get back, but you niggas gonna love my shit. Make her jealous when I tell them don't touch my shit. All those who oppose this know this. I'm supposed to post this. Hashtag here to suck my dick. The more bread you make, the more realer you are. The more threats you make, the more killer you are. And I'm the realest by far. Look at all these diamond rings and dimes and range. How you feeling so far? And that's the strangest thing. It's strange to think what strangers think can either satisfy or anger me. Even if they can't believe what I make believe was make believe. Just believe what I claim to be. Yeah, just believe what I claim to be. Just believe what I claim to be. Might not mean a thing to you, but it means everything to me. I fiend just to be accepted, but I'll tell you I don't care how you feel. At the same time, better be respected. To be real, I don't know what's real. It's rats, you see the grid. Yeah, break a lot. You in a chat, you moving bricks. Yeah, break a lot. You keep this cat, you not a bitch. Break a lot. Your chick is back cause you a pimp, my nigga. You better design the shit they magic made. Yeah, break a lot. Even your whips got valet hate. Yeah, break a lot. I know you see it, I need validation. Break a lot. Tell me you see it, I need validation. You get her. I got a book on how to be the realest nigga. Only made one copy, and I bought it. It said you gotta prove to be the best to all these niggas who don't matter, and then tell them they don't matter. And that'll make them matter. So I'm here to floss on you niggas, never take no loss from you niggas. Always been a boss to you niggas, always pay more cost on you niggas. My life is so awesome, my nigga. I grew up much harder, I'm harder. My death time was longer, got 38 felonies. Sold the most product I got is speak down on you, make you feel down when you look up and see I'm surrounded by dollars. You feel less like a man now? Admit I'm a man, I pretend till I stand out. I never understand how. Where the man up is, keep a man down. Why is our composition made a competition? I guess when you race without a pot to piss and then them dollars missing, poor souls pay for all attention. But damn, what's the cost of admission? It's rats, you see the grid. Yeah, break a lot. You in a chat, you moving bricks, nigga. Break a lot. You keep this chat, you not a bitch. Break a lot. Your chick is back cause you a pimp, my nigga. You better design the shit they magic made. Yeah, break a lot. Even your whips got valet hate. Yeah, break a lot. I know you see it, I need validation. Break a lot. Tell me you see it, I need validation. I gotta take these niggas out. I'm just trying to get ahead. Can't take it with you when you gone, but I ain't hear nothing you said. Put all my money in my casket, so even when I'm dead, all you niggas see I did it bigger than you ever did. Hold up. Yeah, the slave masters were masterminds. Used to masterminds. Happy step, but you want masterminds. Aftermath to being afterminds. Be the man till the man is blind. The catch your find that made his brother snap the whip. Crack the tip on the back of spines. Pure hate, black man's response. Split families in half more than half the time. Now, that's how the fuck you cut family ties. He's a house nigga, you a field nigga. Creating lovers, but to them you still nigga. No one cares how the fuck you feel, nigga. Fuck with Diddy, you just wanna kill niggas? Misdirect the hatred, it's traveled through 100 generations. Divide and conquer, oldest trick in the nation. It's strip the nigga naked. The only thing sacred was pride. He swore you never take it. That's why we break a lot. You niggas kill me. Yeah. Break a lot. Won't help a nigga, rather kill me. Break a lot. That shit kills me. Break a lot.